The mystery of the Whispering Well. In the quiet village of Sundarpur, a terrifying legend began to spread about the old stone well. Every night at exactly midnight, a ghostly whisper would echo from the depths, calling one specific name. The most frightening part was that by sunrise, the person whose name was called would vanish completely. Meet Chotu, a brave 10-year-old boy in a yellow t-shirt who always questioned the village rules. His best friend Gauri was the brains of the duo, recording every strange occurrence in her small notebook. Dada Ram, the village elder with a long white beard, held the secrets of a century of stories. Meena Aunty was always on the lookout for the latest gossip to share with everyone. Bholu the milkman brought laughter to the village with his chubby cheeks and endless jokes. And then there was Rani, Chotu's energetic golden retriever who could sense danger long before humans could. Usually, the villagers gathered under the massive banyan tree to share stories and laugh together. But as the disappearances continued, the laughter died, and a heavy silence fell over Sundarpur. The ancient well became a forbidden zone, looking like a hungry mouth waiting to swallow the world. One midnight, a sudden, unnatural silence gripped the air, even the crickets stopped chirping. Then, a deep and echoing whisper vibrated through the ground, calling out the name Bholu. The next morning, the village woke up to a devastating discovery: Bholu was gone. His heavy milk cans lay overturned on the grass, the white milk spilled across the dirt. Strange, glowing blue footprints led away from the well and headed straight into the dark forest. The villagers followed the tracks, but the footprints suddenly vanished into thin air. It looked as if Bholu had been plucked from the earth by a giant, invisible hand. Panic spread through the village like a plague, and every night the well called a new name. The blacksmith was taken next, then the potter, and then the shepherd, all before the first light of dawn. The bustling market became a ghost town, with shops shuttered and streets empty of children. While others hid in fear, Chotu sat by his window, observing the well with a different perspective. He began to wonder if the well wasn't evil, but was actually calling for help. Determined to find the truth, Chotu whispered a secret plan to Gauri. Under the cover of darkness, the two children and Rani crept out of their houses. They hid behind thick, prickly bushes near the well, holding their breath in the cold air. As the village clock struck 12, the temperature dropped sharply, and a chill filled the air. Suddenly, the whisper returned, louder than ever, echoing the name Chotu across the clearing. Gauri gripped Chotu's arm in terror, her eyes wide with fear as the ground began to vibrate. A blinding burst of bright blue light exploded from the well, knocking the children backward. Instead of fleeing, Chotu felt a magnetic pull drawing him toward the center of the light. With a determined nod to Gauri, they both took a leap of faith and jumped straight into the light. They didn't hit the bottom, instead, they began floating through a shimmering tunnel of stars. The children landed softly on a bed of glowing neon moss, blinking in disbelief at their surroundings. They discovered they were inside a hidden underground village where everything shimmered with iridescent colors. Nearby, talking rabbits wearing tiny velvet vests were busy selling glowing vegetables from small wooden carts. Lines of organized fireflies floated through the air, acting as living street lamps for the winding paths. Tiny dragons, no larger than house cats, flew overhead carrying buckets of shimmering silver water. In the center of the plaza, Chotu and Gauri spotted all the missing villagers gathered around a massive table. Bholu looked up and beamed a huge, relieved smile, waving his arms enthusiastically at the children. Bholu shouted that they weren't prisoners, leaving Chotu and Gauri completely confused about why they were there. A giant, ancient turtle with a glowing blue shell and a long white beard slowly crawled toward them. The turtle spoke in a voice like grinding stones, explaining that this world had secretly protected Sundarpur for centuries. He revealed that the magic crystal, a giant diamond powering the shield between worlds, was slowly dying. The turtle explained that the crystal only responded to the purest and kindest hearts to regain its power. This was why the well had called the most helpful people, including the generous Bholu and the brave Chotu. Suddenly, a loud, terrifying crack echoed through the cavern as the magic crystal split down the middle. Thick, oily dark smoke began to pour from the fracture, filling the neon sky with gloom. From the heart of the smoke, a towering shadow monster emerged with eyes that glowed like red coals. Chotu noticed that the monster wasn't using claws, but was instead inhaling the air deeply. The creature was feeding on the fear of the people, growing larger and stronger with every scream. As the monster consumed the light, the magical village began to fade and crumble into dust. Chotu realized the trap and shouted for everyone to stop being afraid to starve the monster. The villagers were too panicked to listen, running in circles and making the monster grow to the size of a mountain. Gauri looked at her notebook and had a sudden spark of an idea to fight back with joy. Gauri yelled that joy could make the monster shrink, and she grabbed Chotu's hand to start laughing. Chotu joined in, making the silliest faces he could to encourage the others to join the laughter. Seeing the children, Bholu remembered his jokes and started performing a clumsy, funny dance. The talking rabbits began to sing loud, upbeat songs, adding to the atmosphere of happiness. The village children began playing a game of tag, running circles around the monster's massive feet. The villagers forgot their terror and started laughing together, creating a wave of positive energy. The shadow monster stopped growing and looked confused, as its source of power vanished. The monster began to shrink rapidly, turning from a mountain into a tiny, harmless puff of smoke. With one final, loud puff, the monster disappeared forever, leaving the air clean and bright. The magical turtle smiled, revealing that the whisper was actually a test of bravery and kindness. The turtle used the last of the crystal's energy to send all the villagers back to the surface. Everyone woke up in Sundarpur at sunrise, the old well now silent and peaceful forever. Now, the village celebrates Bravery Day every year, throwing flowers into the well to thank their hidden protectors.